Cultural depictions of the psychopath lean toward the loud and aggressive, the predator you can see coming. The invisible variety strikes from complete stillness, relying on total camouflage within a social circle to remain undetected until they strike, without warning. This diagram illustrates the malignant covert narcissist. The benign white cloud represents a disguise built out of perceived weakness. They adopt a shy, compassionate persona, using feigned victimhood to draw people in, while hiding a massive subterranean structure of psychopathic grandiosity. This outward display of empathy functions as a predatory tool. It is a calculation used strictly to bypass the natural defenses of healthy, trusting individuals. Overt narcissism, the contained red dot, acts as a localized, visible wound. Observers can quickly identify and confront the threat. In contrast, the sprawling golden root system represents the covert profile. They operate like a cancer, silently invading networks entirely shielded by camouflage. Once they infiltrate a group, they begin destroying healthy alliances and rotting organizational tissue from the inside out. The danger lies in their invisibility. By the time the patterns are recognized, the damage to the victim's professional and personal life is often irreversible. The double compensation model maps this mind's architecture, starting with the bottom layer, the innate bad object. This extreme inferiority drives them to build a middle layer of glass, covert narcissism, which routinely shatters under a real-world pressure. This flowchart traces the path toward a break. Mundane defeats and environmental failures amplify the inner voices of the bad object, creating a state of intolerable shame that ends in total, borderline-level deregulation. This table highlights the crucial divergence. When their ego shatters, the covert narcissist discards the failed narcissistic mechanism entirely. As shown in the red column, they transition into a state of pure primary psychopathy. This sadistic behavior represents a desperate secondary mutation, an adaptation required to survive the terror of their own psychological collapse. The psychopathic shift manifests across several clinical domains, making the personality flip visible to those around them. In clinical domain 1, the self-concept shifts from a hypervigilant, self-doubting spiderweb into a malignant state of armor. They become driven by sadistic impulses designed to torment others to affirm their own sense of godhood. Clinical domain 2 tracks the interpersonal shift. Consumed by vengeful projection, the envious loner transitions into this red lightning burst, convinced that everyone is actively plotting against them. This cognitive style, visualized in domain 6, reveals a shift toward outlandish entitlement. Masking their cognitive deficits with aggressive grandiosity, they demand total attention, success, and reward while making zero actual effort, as seen in this massive red bar. These extreme behavioral contradictions reveal the fragile doormat persona as a functional mask for the psychopathic reality underneath. Following the break, they retreat into a paracosm, an internal fantasy world. They convert separate human beings into internal objects, as shown by these introjection arrows, so they can safely punish them from a position of omnipotence. In new relationships, you must watch for an aimless individual who suddenly begins displaying highly Machiavellian, calculating cruelty. The unprovoked destruction of alliances and friendships, driven by sudden and uncommunicated envy, serves as another primary warning sign. Logic and shared reality fail once the narcissist retreats into this fantasy. Every interaction is filtered through a rigid, automated defense mechanism, making genuine reasoning impossible. The primary rule for de-escalation is to avoid direct confrontation. Do not attempt to unmask them to their face. Directly threatening their fragile second-layer defense triggers the highly dangerous Layer 3 psychopathic response. Total physical and emotional distance is the only effective boundary-setting technique against this specific profile. Recovery requires accepting that a victim's empathy cannot fix a predatory manipulator. Those empathetic traits were the specific vulnerabilities the narcissist targeted. These final takeaways synthesize the danger: the engine of malignancy, the psychopathic transformation, and the threat to social tissue. True danger wears the mask of a victim. Survival requires ignoring performative humility, trusting behavioral shifts, and enforcing strict boundaries without hesitation.